Wow. Good evening, everybody. My name is Mike Shablaski, and I'm the Executive Director of Transform Rockford. Welcome to Rockford's Coronado Theater and to our community's Vision Rally. Vision is a picture of a preferred future. Tonight we want to present that picture of a transformed Rockford region. I love our community. I think we have a great future. I'm excited about what we're going to show you tonight. And I think that before you leave here tonight, you will share my enthusiasm for our future and confidence that together we will make that vision a reality. And this is Melissa Pratumachith. Thank you for joining us, Melissa.
Good evening.
Now, Melissa, you have Melissa is one of the bright stars of our region and one of the many reasons that we're here tonight. Now, Melissa, you have a unique background and perspective regarding Transform Rockford. Can you share a little bit of that?
Yes. Well, I'm a lifelong Rockford resident, and I'm currently a student at the University of Wisconsin-Madison.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
Well, in March, over 200 members of my community actually met to participate in a community visioning session to share their perspectives of our region, of what our region could be within a couple of decades. This historic event has brought together people who had been estranged for 30 years, and a new life of unity was born. I wanted to join tonight's rally to share my family's and my own commitment to rebuilding, to transforming our region. And when I completed my education, I want to return to an emerging community that holds promise for me and for others who are willing to contribute to building a vibrant community.
Great. Thank you, Melissa. I think there's a lot of people here tonight that are also committed to doing that as well. Thanks for taking the time to share that. Let's let folks know a little bit about what they're going to expect to see tonight. First, we're going to take a look back at how we got to this point in the transformation process.
And then we'll have a special take on our shared values.
Then we'll present a draft of our vision and impact statements.
And then we'll talk about the next steps of the transformation process.
And we'll look at some special stories of personal transformation and commitment to community.
And as usual in Transform Rockford meetings, we will want your feedback.
Okay. I also want to welcome those of you who are watching us at home. Thank you for joining us, and please participate in the conversation tonight on Twitter using the hashtag VisionRally14. And we said from the outset that this was going to be a good deal of work, and that it was to be purposeful throughout the process. And while we have done a lot of work so far, we're still at the early stages of this process. But before we go any further, let's take a look at what has been accomplished so far.
I think we've finally gotten to a point where there's enough people in Rockford who are sick and tired of being sick and tired, and it's time to make some change happen. I think this is going to be a very dynamic, really therapeutic process.
In the summer of 2013, a group of concerned citizens met to discuss the current conditions of our region, our assets, and our challenges. Out of their conversation came a case for change. On November 14, 2013, the first community meeting for Transform Rockford was held at the Coronado Theater.
Tonight, this is the start of a long journey.
That night, 1,400 people embraced a set of shared values that have become our compass and the basis of all our conversation. We heard the brutal facts of the Rockford area, and together as a community, we joined in a call to action for improving the living and working conditions in our region. On December 14th, 1,000 community members attended a community conversation at Ellis Arts Academy to discuss the attributes of great communities. The response to the call to action was a series of 51 visioning sessions held from January through March to gather ideas and opinions from the community. More than 3,000 people from all over the region participated and shared their dreams for a transformed region. Additional comments were gathered as community members continued the conversations online via the Transform Rockford website and social media sites. The Community Learning Series was launched featuring national experts speaking about relevant topics for our community.
And in essence, what you're doing with Transform Rockford is building that social capital. You're building several capitals, but you're certainly building the social capital by people getting together and discuss the kind of things that they want and how they can develop a shared vision. And what you are doing is an open process, a positive process, but the ultimate effect is you're trying to direct some community change.
I think you're doing things right. I haven't seen any other type of initiative like this be so. I think one of the questioners used the word consistency, and I think that is really important. It's been organized, it's been consistent, it's been driven, it's been focused, and I think that you have success at the end of the road.
I think Transform Rockford for me, from what I've learned, is about digging into the community, getting down into the details of the individuals, understanding what's going on, dealing with diversity and inclusion, and becoming a better community overall, and looking towards individuals so everybody really has an ownership to do their part to improve the community which you live in.
The more voices that you have at the table, the better the decision is in the end.
It's a really kind of grassroots movement that I think is really resonating with a lot of people and how they feel about Rockford.
Well over 7,000 people have engaged in the Transform Rockford process, led by more than 350 volunteers who have given over 30,000 hours to the effort so far. After months of visioning sessions, the vision drafting team took all the input from our community and developed our community's vision, a vision for a transformed Rockford, one that we can all share. Our vision, our future.
I grew up in Rockford, I'm born and raised, and I remember how great it was, and I'm excited about how great it can be again.
A community-wide initiative that the only way that it can survive is if everyone is on board.
I'm not young, I love Rockford. I want to do whatever I can do to make a difference.
If you don't get involved and get engaged, there isn't going to be any change.
I'm helping transform Rockford.
I'm helping transform Rockford into a better community.
Me llamo Rodolfo Valdez y estoy ayudando a transformar Rockford.
And I'm with in support of Transform Rockford.
I'm helping to transform Rockford.
We're here to transform Rockford.
Talk to your friends, talk to your neighbors, understand the process, and certainly engage.
I'm helping transform Rockford.
Mom's working today, but we're hoping to transform Rockford with a little bit more positivity. What do you think, bud? Yeah. Exactly.
So that's a little bit about where we've been. And there are three things from that video that really stick out to me and are important to note. First of all is the remarkable level of engagement we've had across this community. The engagement of people and organizations, the construction of new networks and the strengthening of existing ones. It's been powerful and heartening for me to be a part of, to be around these people as they have put their own touch on this vision that we'll be rolling out tonight. And the effort of those volunteers that got us to this point. So proud of them. They put on this evening tonight and all those 51 visioning sessions and learning sessions and so on. Tons of effort, and they're so dedicated to this, but most of all to their community. Second is our careful and consistent use of a proven process, driven to deliver results in the long term. And third, and most importantly, is our shared values and our commitment as a community to our shared values, which is at the heart of this overall effort. These shared values serve as our compass for every step of this process. Our community's commitment to inclusion of all and respect for the dignity of all have been cornerstones of this effort that I've been particularly proud of. As we were thinking about this evening, we wanted a creative way to remind ourselves of the significance of these values. And to do that, please welcome tonight the artist Zen.
They asked me to do this morning. I'm totally kidding. Just kidding. They might not ask me back now. Time's wasting. Like belts from hourglasses spilled, the libation of pessimism seems to have our glasses filled to the brim with hesitation. The very thing for which we wait to pass waits for no man or woman or child, sleight of hand turning present into past. That is why we must act now. We must create a marriage between our differences to make manifest and give birth to unity by way of truly cultivating that which will yield something positive. There can be no more counterfeit kumbaya circles and hands joined together in skepticism and uncertainty. Truly caring and being pious must replace the flimsy posture of pity, and respect must take the place of tolerance. This process for seeking answers and solutions should leave no stone unturned but none thrown, because this is a glass house. There should be no mystery to power, only truth. And truly empower ourselves, we must all first look in the mirror and be honest with the face we see. We must abandon the idea of a man behind a curtain granting courage, heart, and grandeur to gray matter. We must stop believing that we can somehow magically click our heels and be whisked away from our troubles, or convincing ourselves and each other that it's a job for someone else, while we forfeit our opportunity to be the difference. We must come to realize that we are our own ticket home from this strange place that has become what we once knew, and that our focus is symbolized by the calm eye amidst the violent storm that once blew. A nightmare is nothing more than or merely a series of scenes scattered, a dream disoriented, nonetheless indulged in voluntarily. The unfortunate reality of our circumstance, though, is that if we all, every single person here, as well as each person outside those doors, were to stand up and accept their part, their responsibility, still something will be missing, and that thing is trust. Upon being honest with ourselves, we must also trust ourselves. We have to believe in ourselves, because if we don't, how else can we believe in each other? We trust ourselves, then we trust each other, then we trust the plan that we are setting in motion. Realism simply equates to knowing the cost of that which must be sacrificed in order to achieve the desired effect and ensure a state of well-being that exceeds where we currently stand. But we cannot stand against our true enemy, which is adversity, if we fear each other and falsely empower ourselves by way of division. That which we fear, are skeptical of, and have wavering faith in is a system, a structure, a force, an equation that we do not understand, because we do not see ourselves as a part of or a variable of importance. It's time to stop seeing ourselves as just limbs or organs, separate entities with singular functions, but as a unit, as a body, a collective, a big picture composed of many colors.
That was awesome, Zen. That was really, let's give him a hand again. He really captured the essence and the spirit of the shared values, and as Mike has said, that's just so important to where we're at, how we got here tonight, how we shaped the vision. So just welcome. We are here tonight to reveal the vision, what the community has said. My name is David Sidney, a lifelong resident. Thank you. Went away for college for a little bit, and then came back, as I've shared that story before, where, didn't really want to be in this community, but man, I love being here. I love being back in Rockford, and I love what we're going to be sharing with you tonight.
And I'm Emily Kilbeck. I'm with Girl Scouts of Northern Illinois, and like David, I have been a lifelong resident, Winnebago, actually, for anybody out there that's from Winnebago. Yay! And I also went away for school and first jobs and came back, and I couldn't be happier to be raising my 5.5-year-old son here. So very, very proud to be part of this movement.
So we're here tonight to present the community's vision. This is our vision. This is what we've said as a region. 2 things to remember. This is a 6-step process. The first step was analysis and case for change. And then step 2, which many of you in this room and who are watching live participated in developing the vision. We're currently at the end of this step, step 2. We still have a long way to go, as you can see on the screen. This is a long journey. It's a process. It's going to take a while, but it's worthwhile. The second thing to remember is that this vision is in draft form. It's still being formed. We are still forming this as a community. And so, as we'll share with you later, your feedback is still very valuable and valid, and we want to hear from you.
So many of you, thousands of you actually, were already part of this process at the 51 visioning sessions that we had earlier this year. You may recognize the card that's up on the screen right now. You said, "My transformed Rockford is, has, will be, looks like," and you were the ones that filled in those blanks. And that's how we got started talking about this vision. Vision, remember, is a picture of a preferred future, what we all aspire to. The draft itself is actually in 3 parts. Part 1 is called the vision intro, which communicates the vision for our community in 1 simple sentence. Part 2 is the vision statement. This vision statement is slightly longer, and it contains specific details and additional definition.
The third part of the vision is the impact statements. The vision is supported by 12 statements. So tonight you will see 12 impact statements that really unpack that vision that we've created. And it represents 12 focus areas that we heard from the community and that were needed and are purposeful, and it helps us to focus, helps us to be strategic. These impact statements provide greater detail and provide the foundation for discussions by the transformation teams going forward. Again, please remember that this is still in draft form. So what we have before you today is still a conversation and still gathering feedback on it. So as you leave, you will receive a handout, which Emily is showing, that will have information that we're about to share with you.
So before I share the vision intro, the 1 simple sentence, I want to remind everybody that this is a positive, aspirational statement. The entire vision is. It's where we want to end up. It's our end goal. So the moment you've all been waiting for, the vision intro. We are a top 25 community where our people are engaged, inspired, and are leading successful and fulfilling lives.
Yeah. So by the year 2025, we want our region to be regarded as one of the top 25 communities in America. That's big. Think about that. Top 25 in America. True transformation is not a short-term process. It will demand, to be a top 25 community, it's going to demand intentional and united effort. And we will become that place. Our vision statement elaborates on this, and it fleshes out. We'll flesh that out for you.
So here's the vision statement, the longer version of how we intend to get there. Our community is recognized as one of the very best regions to live in the U.S. Our residents are thriving and enjoying a superior quality of life. We have transformed our community by embracing our diversity, fostering a crime-free culture, and delivering an excellent education to all of our children. There's more. We have an agile and vigorous economy built on the renaissance of North American manufacturing, logistics, agribusiness, and our adjacency to urban centers such as Chicago. Our infrastructure is robust, our workforce is sought after, And our vibrant neighborhoods and cultural and recreational amenities draw people to locate in our region.
Yeah. I was going to say let that sink in, but it already did. So, but this is our community vision. This is it. This is what you have said we want our transformed region to be and to have and to be like. This is a picture of a transformed Rockford region, and it is so important. I'm going to ask Emily to say it again.
Sure. Our community is recognized as one of the very best regions to live in the U.S. Our residents are thriving and enjoying a superior quality of life. We have transformed our community by embracing our diversity, fostering a crime-free culture, and delivering an excellent education to all of our children. We have an agile and vigorous economy built on the renaissance of North American manufacturing, logistics, agribusiness, and our adjacency to urban centers such as Chicago. Our infrastructure is robust, our workforce is sought after, and our vibrant neighborhoods and cultural and recreational amenities draw people to locate in our region.
It's a great picture. It's a great picture. And I think by your clapping, you want to go there. And I think we want to go there, and it's really inspiring. It's inspiring to me. That's the kind of place where I want to live, where I want to raise my family, where I want to be vested and gathered with you and many others who are not even in this room.
So based on the feedback and input we received from you at the community visioning sessions, 12 impact statements have been drafted to support the vision for our community. So again, remember as we go through these that these are positive, aspirational statements. They don't focus on the negativity that sometimes Rockford can be known for. They move us forward to that place. And so if you watch the news like I do every night, the first one is probably no surprise to you. And there is a reason why it's number one, and that's safety. All people are safe and feel safe, regardless of address.
And you know, when you see that word address, you think of your home, right? Because you have an address at your home, but you also have an address at a place that you work or places that you visit. This means that no matter where we're at, it's not based on where we're living, but no matter where we are at in this region, we feel safe and we are safe.
So the next impact statement has to do with healthy lifestyles. Residents live healthy lifestyles and make informed choices. They have access to excellent, comprehensive services for health, wellness, and recreation.
So with this impact statement, we heard you say that our community must be able to provide the opportunities for everyone to be able to make educated decisions about their personal health and well-being.
Here's our vision for education, which also came up a lot in the visioning sessions. Our pre-K through 12 schools and students are the pride of our community, are nationally recognized for quality, and are highly valued by our citizens and employers. Our education and training programs are dynamic and provide accessible paths to fulfilling careers for our children and adults.
That first part in this impact statement, it says our pre-K through 12 schools and students. It means we're caring about our buildings and we're also caring about our students. And I really love that part of this statement. Just imagine for a moment, today's second grader will be graduating from high school in 2025. So you told us through visioning sessions that it's important to provide our students with a solid educational foundation as well as a lifetime of learning opportunities after graduation. I think, isn't this what we want for our community?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So probably many of you are thinking, well, what about the economy and jobs? And that's our next impact statement. The region has a skilled and sought-after workforce, enabling all families to improve their standard of living. Our people are employed, and per capita income is above the national average. As a hub of ideas and innovation, we have grown and attracted world-class industries and employers. We are recognized for leadership in advanced manufacturing, logistics, and agribusiness.
So new industries and employers and a skilled and sought-after workforce. These two areas must grow, and I think we all recognize that, and that's what's being stated in this impact statement, and they have to succeed together. This isn't wishful thinking. This is going to require new ideas. It's going to require a lot of innovation in order for this to come together, and it's going to take time. It won't happen overnight, but I believe we can get there.
So in order to accomplish all these impact statements, we have to have one about planning, because we need a plan in order to get to the vision. And planning means we take a purposeful, transparent, and results-oriented approach to planning for growth and renovation.
I hear all the planners going, yeah! Or maybe that's just me. But to get where we want to go, right? I mean, it's like GPS. You got to map it out. So we have to map out exactly where we want to go. It's the most direct and efficient way to do that. And the Transform Rockford movement that we're all a part of in the process is a real good example of that, because it's purposeful, it's transparent, and it's results-oriented planning. This kind of thinking has worked for many corporate and nonprofit organizations in our region and other places, and this will work for this community.
Another area of our vision has to do with funding and alignment. Our local governments and not-for-profits are impactful, properly supported, and aligned with the community vision.
So that the word aligned at the end of this statement, alignment is a word that it can be a buzzword, but it's a really important word, all right? Alignment, if your car is out of alignment, you will feel it, and it will not be able to move in that direction. So it's very important in the transformation process. We have to get on the same page, and we have to pursue a common vision. And as a community, we do have wonderful resources and organizations, but we all have to be heading in the same direction, same goal, transforming this region.
So in order to really achieve the vision, we need to pay attention to quality, which is the next impact statement. Our commitment to quality drives all community activities, delivering superior infrastructure, services, and attractions.
So we want to be that destination, right? I mean, think about equality, right? You feel good. So we can feel good and feel awesome about our parks, about our recreational amenities, about our riverfront, all areas of the region. We can feel really good about it because it's high quality. We want to be known for that place, and we should expect that, and I think we can.
So in order to achieve that kind of quality, we have to have an impact statement that deals with physical infrastructure. Our transportation and communication systems are robust and accessible. They efficiently connect people to opportunities and amenities within and beyond our region.
So whether you need to get to work on a different side of town from where you live, or you have to ship a package around the world, or you're actually leading a conference call with your 10 distribution facilities in and around the world. This impact statement is saying that we have a state-of-the-art ability to communicate and transport. This kind of efficient, robust, and accessible infrastructure will allow that to happen, and it will be a huge factor that will cause other businesses and manufacturers here and new ones to locate here.
So the next couple impact statements have a lot to do with the people who live here. So we've talked a lot about systems and processes, and now we're going to talk about the people. And the next one is about families and neighborhoods, which are a core component of our vision. Strong, engaged families are the foundation of vibrant neighborhoods throughout the region. Neighborhoods are interconnected, adding to our sense of unity.
You know, a community can only be as healthy as its neighborhoods and its families. And that's all neighborhoods and all families. Some of you may have actually experienced a great life. You may have experienced a great time with your family. And some of you just wanted to get out as soon as you could. But the reality is this, and I think we can all feel this in this impact statement, is we do want it better for our neighborhoods, and we do want things to be better for our families. Strong and engaged families, as Emily said, is the foundation, and so that's what this impact statement is saying.
The next one is very near and dear to my heart, working with leadership and youth all the time as in my day-to-day job. This is our vision for leadership and youth. Our leaders are visionary, effective, respected, and supported. They engage our youth and actively develop next generation leaders.
Yeah. So that second grader that I mentioned to you earlier is going to be graduating from high school in 2025. Think about it. That second grader right now, somewhere in the region, could be the next mayor of one of the communities here. Could be the next leader of a company here. Could be a teacher in that very school that we said we really want to make sure that it's a quality school. Just think about that for a little bit. This vision is a long journey and it's a long process, but our leaders, we're saying that the youth are the future of our region. And when our leaders are visionary, effective, respected, and supported, and are actively building into the next generation, amazing opportunities open up for the future.
Another component of our vision for a transformed Rockford has to do with arts and recreation. Diverse forms of creative expression and recreation flourish and lead to self-fulfillment and national acclaim.
So we'll be a region that embraces creativity, providing opportunity and really developing and attracting great talent. We heard you say how important this is to becoming a part of, to become a top 25 community. When the arts and recreation flourish, a community comes to life, and that's the energy that is unmistakable, incredibly desirable. The arts and artists who create the opportunities, they give us that ability as a community to have recreation and to recreate and really breathe life into our community, and that's the kind of community that this impact statement will achieve.
Our last impact statement is one of my favorites because a famous strategic planner has said that culture eats strategy for breakfast. So if you don't get your culture right, none of these other strategies even matter because we can't come together as a culture. So the last one is about unity, pride, and culture. Our community is unified, celebrates its achievements and diversity, takes pride in individual and collective achievement, and lives its shared values.
All the impact statements are important, but we could camp out on that one. It's a huge step forward. Unity, pride, and culture. When we put this all into practice, when we're living out the shared values, you know, I have them on my wall in my office to remind me. Those days where you just, you know, something is pulling at you, you go to those values. You say, this is what I signed up for. This is what we committed to, and this is very significant. And when we live it out in this vision and make it a reality, this impact statement of unity, pride, and culture will become foundational, and it will help us to be a successful region.
So the vision intro, the vision statement, the 12 impact statements, that's it. That's our vision for a transformed Rockford. Let the words you've heard today sink in. You'll get a copy of them, like we said, on your way out here. So think about them. Talk about them. Most importantly, let us know what you think about them. We have many opportunities for feedback, and this is a conversation. We're all a part of it. It's still in draft form until we hear your feedback.
So what do you think? Are we on the right track? Okay, all right. Good. Good. Now, some of you I know out there are saying, okay, so what do we do? Well, what's the next step, right? Right. I'm going to ask a question, though. Before we go to the next step, I want to ask each of and all of you who are in this room and who are watching live and who will see this down the road are you willing to commit and engage in this process so this vision is actually realized.
Thank you.
Okay, all right, you saw that. Okay, all right. All right. Okay, so here's the first thing you can do. Okay, you need give us feedback. Feedback is so important. This whole process has been about looping, putting it out, getting feedback, rolling it back out, getting it back in. And so stop by the booths in the lobby afterwards. That's one way that you can provide feedback. If it hasn't sunk in yet and you still want to process it, visit Transform Rockford at one of the booths. That's going to be located at the City Market, July 11th and 18th. And there will also be a booth at Anderson Gardens on July 15th and 22nd. If you're also able to provide your feedback online at the website, www.transformrockford.org. Then there's going to be an opportunity here in the community where the networks are going to be able to provide a phone bank. So on July 16th, you'll be able to call in. If you want to just have that type of feedback, there will be folks who are already preparing and gearing up for that to hear from you in that way. So those are the opportunities that you have to provide feedback.
Mm-hmm. So then after that, your feedback is going to be reviewed by the vision drafting team, and a final vision will be released by about mid-August. What happens after we get that final vision? Scott Anderson and Karen Brown from the process team are here to talk about next steps.
Big thanks to Dave and Emily. Pretty inspirational, pretty exciting, and we're here to share that really exciting topic, the process of how we get there. How do we make this vision a reality, which is what we all want to know. Obviously, it's going to take a lot of effort. It's going to take all of us engaged to make that happen. And as importantly, it's going to take a process that will make it work, a proven process, one that has been successful in other organizations, one that we can follow that will help us make our vision a reality. And we are confident that the process that we're sharing with you tonight will do that. It starts with a transformation map that shows the plans and communicates the journey that we will take. This tool will be used to show how we will get there and our progress as we go along the way. This tool is the proven process for making our vision a reality.
I think I'm going to have a technical difficulty.
So as much as we rehearsed, this didn't happen. So anyway, we'll just back up, right? We'll just keep asking, how excited are you about the vision, right? Yeah, thank you. Yeah. So part of our strategic plan will be to have microphones that never fail. And the way we will do that, just kidding. Hey, welcome, Karen.
Back again. So I told Scott he needed to learn how to sing and dance, but anyway, we're back again. So thanks for that interruption. So each segment will have a leadership team of 3 people. There will be a business leader, a leader from the public sector, and a leader from the nonprofit or faith community. As Scott was talking about, within each segment there'll be spoke teams that will be identified and will deal with specific issues. The spoke teams will have the responsibility to look at issues, gather input and data, and eventually work on solutions.
So as we were saying, a segment is a group of spokes or issues that are collected together, and then spokes and impact statements within those segments to be developed to work the plans to achieve our vision. Spoke teams will be led by a pair of leaders from the community. They will also be composed of community members who will also bring skills to those spoke teams. They might be subject matter experts and analysts that will help this work get done.
The role of these team leaders for segment and spoke teams is significant. There are certain qualities that the people who are asked to fill these roles must have. Specifically, these individuals will need the ability to enlist and align community networks. They'll also need to be competent in the areas of strategy development and alignment, team leadership, and have a results orientation.
The teams will define the strategy for achieving the vision by following a specific process. They will research to determine the gap between where we are today and that desired impact that's a part of our vision. They will research the plans that exist today, and they will research what other successful communities have done. They will draft a strategy for achieving the vision. That draft strategy will be given feedback to refine that plan and verify unity. They will build a strategic plan, and they will continue to check the results and the success of that plan. The feedback step of the process is critical to ensure that the plans are aligned, impactful, and achievable. Spoke teams will review their drafts and plans with a red team that will challenge those plans and refine the plan. The red team will be a collection of community members who are critical thinkers and can identify gaps and risks and misses in order to refine that plan and make it the best possible plan. Additionally, as has been done with the transformation effort from the beginning, as we're doing tonight, and as we'll always do, there will be feedback loops with the community to refine those drafts and get the best plan to move forward.
There are carefully laid out expectations for each team. There has been thoughtful planning put into ensuring that the results from each team meets high standards. These items, gap analysis, research, network, alignment, and results metrics are commonly used by successful organizations and will lead towards the development of a strategy that will bring our vision to life.
So here's where we are. We have a proven process that will make the vision a reality. The draft vision is being shared tonight. You've heard that. You've been asked to give your feedback both after the event tonight and through other feedback methods. That feedback will be used to refine the plan over the next few weeks, and the spoke teams and the segment leaders will get started right after that.
Our engagement team has a table in the lobby. If you'd like to be involved in helping with the strategy, please stop by and let us know that you're interested. This is a significant effort that will last over a long period of time. Much like a relay race, some will start now, and some will take the handoff and continue the work. But we will all see a vision realized. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Wow. We've just given you a lot of information to digest right here. Please, take a moment and think about that. But first, let's thank David, Emily, Scott, and Karen for the fine work that they put into that. Now, throughout the evening, many people have already been commenting on Twitter. Let's take a moment and take a look at a few of these tweets. Okay. So Savannah Liston is saying, a community where our people are engaged, inspired, and leading successful and fulfilling lives. A top 25 community. Good recap of the intro that we had. What else do we have here? We are our own ticket home, the artist said. That's right, it's just Sharon Lynn. And Margot Stedman, I can't quite see that one, but great work, Rockford. Thank you. And from Mayor Morrissey, thank you. Okay. And that's right. I mean, this is your vision. You're the ones who put the work into it, but I'm very proud of the work done by the team that drafted this and went through the refinement process with a lot of good people that cared. We brought people into this that worked with you as a community, that were there with you as your facilitators to this process to make sure that we heard your voice and did an excellent job in presenting that here. Though, as you heard, we're still interested in your feedback. I know you're going to need a little time to process this, but remember, we'll be looking for your feedback in the lobby right after this. All right, well, one of the things that I get to do and really enjoy and that I'm learning throughout this whole process is that this community is full of so many people that care about it, and try especially hard and give their heart and all on a regular basis. People that truly want Rockford to be a better place to live. Right now you're going to see a few stories about people who care and care about the community.
Our purpose tonight, I don't think, is to take what they said and just make it pretty. They've spoken to what matters. They are concerned with safety. And I don't think we should disregard safety as a term.
Children don't feel safe and people are being killed. This is a daily thing. The first thing I do is look on my phone to see who got killed last night. Made a statement when I was 10 years old. When I grow up, I'm going to help people, because I used to live in public housing, and it's been my life's goal. My brother was a bodyguard for Snoop Dogg, and an incident occurred where someone got killed. Our family was hurting and couldn't function. Every member of a family suffers. It's not only the person that is in jail. We are all connected to the event. I was in my final semester at Ashford University, and the law students helped me free my brother. It changed my whole life. A lot of my clients are in jail. Most of them are homeless, and I deal with people who are poor. It is so difficult for an individual to move forward because they have committed a crime and it's in the minds of the folks who have to hire them, and they don't get a chance. And if they could just get a chance to show.
Does safety need to be repeated in this grouping? Is this transformational? Okay, so first.
In the position of trying to take care of my younger siblings, got to a point where I had tried to do a robbery, which landed me in prison. Got sentenced to 4 years in the Department of Corrections. While all that was happening, I had two sons that were born, and I think that was the game changer. Not that they were just born, but not being there while they were born. I think that really was the game changer for me, because I felt that guilt of like that's something I would never be able to see. When I did get out, I decided that that's a place that I was never ever going to go back to. I would never abandon my kids. And maybe I had to go through that for that reason. So I would never abandon them. So I would have the mindset that I have. Like, I know how it feels. I never want my kids to feel that way. So maybe it's a good thing. I like to lead by example. And it'd be hard for me to ask them to go volunteer, to go change the world, and I'm doing nothing. I'm just sitting on the couch. It'd be really hard for me to do that.
Yeah, I can see it both ways. I'm thinking bigger to smaller. What else was missing? What wasn't in this that you expected to see? Anything that jumped to mind that
you can do outside of school on a weekend to keep us out of trouble? I keep sports in. I'm very high-tempered, and if I didn't do sports, there'd be a whole other situation. So I use sports as a...
Joe is a guy that we crossed paths with at Jefferson High School last year. Hard-working kid. I mean, he is not afraid to get after it.
I got into a little altercation at Jefferson between me and this guy. I got charged with a few things. The court ordered I had to do community service. I didn't know what ShareFest did until I actually went.
There was something in him, you could just see that he had energy, he wanted to do something.
It was just a learning experience, and the people around me were just so nice and so welcoming to a kid with a troubled background like that. They didn't really care, they put me to work and they showed me new things.
He discovered that he could work with his hands and that his drive and his energy, he could use to accomplish things. Now at the time, he was playing football. In the mornings, they would go lift. Then he would come and volunteer until they had another lifting session in the late afternoon. And then if we were still there in the evening, he would come back and he would volunteer again. We brought Joe up in front of all the volunteers and said, Joe, we want to acknowledge your effort and your drive, and we want to acknowledge the fact that you can lead people. We'd like to present you with a team leader shirt. That was a big deal to him. Well, then I kind of lose track of Joe throughout the school year. But we cross paths again at Transform Rockford. So he comes in and he worked for 3 nights in a row with us. And it was just amazing to watch him, wrestle with the thoughts that the people had, wrestle with who does he think Rockford could be or should be. You see this in a young man and you go, he has this in him. We as a community have to help him discover that he has this in him. I want to see our community discover what is their potential. What do we really care deeply about? You have 2 choices. One is to say no. And when you say no, the story ends there. It's done. But when you say yes, the story begins there. You're never going to sit back and tell your kids someday about the times you said no. You're going to story tell about the times you said yes. I ran into a guy downtown. He says, I've volunteered at Sheriff Fest before, and he says, we may go work the schools. He says, I am not coming downtown. I go, really? Why? Because he was downtown. He goes, that's the city's responsibility. I said, do you think that it's ever going to change under the city's responsibility? Like, well, no. I said, how's it going to change? We're going to change it. The only way it will change is for all of us here. So we can sit and complain that the city ought to be doing this, the city ought to be doing that, or we can make it happen.
Wow, that's so powerful. Message of commitment and engagement with the community. That's right. I don't think there's a person in this room who doesn't want to write a better story for our community and wants to engage. I think that's why you're here tonight. I want to introduce you to another person who has a pretty special story. This is Diamond Werner.
Hello, everyone. Yes.
That's right. Thank you for joining us, Diamond.
Oh, thank you for inviting me.
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, yes, I can. Well, first and foremost, I want to thank the Lord my God for bringing me here and giving me many opportunities. And I was born and raised in Chicago, Illinois. I came here in Rockford my sophomore year, the end of it, and I went to Guilford High School and graduated from there. Thank you.
Right.
Oh, I live in Fairgrounds. All right. But when I came to Rockford, there were so many opportunities, and you just have to get up and get out to find them because they are there, and we need to help one another.
I'm glad you found those opportunities, Diamond.
Yes.
Could you comment a little bit about how you've gotten engaged with our community?
Oh, I got engaged with the NAACP, the Rockford Public Main Library, the community around my area, and I work with the Rockford Park District, and I work with little children, so I help them out as well. And my church, I also help out, and many other stuff, but we can wait on that.
Yeah. Believe me, there's many others. And I first got to know a little bit about Diamond at the Harkins Youth Awards, where she was a nominee, and there were many other young people like Diamond recognized there as well.
Oh, and I also got the Ram Scholarship.
Yeah, good. That's it. Good. Diamond, can you comment a little bit about people that might be thinking about getting more engaged in their community and how your engagement's affected you?
Yes. If you want to get engaged in your community, you need to make sure that you know that you really want to help. Because if it excites you, it might excite someone else. But since you gave up, then it means nothing to them. So know for sure that you want to. And be positive. Focus on the positive things that you can do for your community. And stick with it. And invite others who you don't know, who live far away, and just come together and help. Because we need us. We need you.
Wow. Thank you. Well, thank you for joining us, Diamond, and sharing your story. I think it's a powerful message in your words. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, we're in the home stretch now. Transform Rockford is not an organization. Transform Rockford is a mindset and a movement. We all need to think in a new way, need to move in some new directions. I'm confident in our success for multiple reasons, including the unprecedented level of engagement and inclusion throughout this effort. We've got new and stronger relationships and networks. We have a broad base for input and collaboration in place. And work is being done in the open, transparently. I think you saw tonight your ideas, and I gather from your reactions that you see them as your ideas. But we will listen, and we will look forward to hearing that as early as in this lobby in detail. I'm confident that we will achieve our vision because of the assets we have in our community, great people, organizations, and natural strengths. And we heard that from you throughout the visioning process as well. I'm also confident we will achieve this vision because we're using a proven process, and we are focused, and we will be driven to achieve results. And you won't let us forget that. And most of all, I'm confident because of our commitment to shared values. I believe with all my heart that when we engage and when we commit, we will do great things. When you leave here tonight, and even before you leave here tonight, talk about this with your friends, your family, your neighbors, your coworkers. That alone will make us better. We can make this happen. We will make this happen. There's going to be a lot of hard work. There's going to be messiness, but I'm going to love every bit of it, just as I have to this point. This is exciting. These are lives we're affecting. Start by living the values. It affects us daily and affects long-term outcomes. Someday, when the vision has been achieved, you will look back and say, I was there at the Coronado when this was just a dream. Let's choose to believe in that great future you heard from Emily and David. We are a top 25 community where people are engaged, inspired, and are leading successful and fulfilling lives. Commit yourself to our community's transformation, and together we will make that happen and our community great. Thank you very much. Have a good night. Thank you.